Hey mama, welcome back to the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I am really excited to give you more tips on that mindset in losing that baby weight because I have been there. I have felt how hard it is to be feeling like you're left out when other people are eating sweets, to feel like the weight just isn't coming off fast enough, and a little bit discouraged in the journey of losing that baby weight. But I want to help you and give you some of the tips that have helped me lose all the baby weight and keep it off. If someone comes to your mind, one of your mom friends, maybe a sister, or even your mom, come to mind during this episode, I encourage you to share it with them. I don't do any paid advertising. The way this podcast grows is through you. Thank you for doing that for me. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. How is it going? How is eating healthy going for you? So this January, I decided I wanted to do a little mini course or mini podcast series for mothers wanting to lose baby weight. And so that is what you are listening to. I have done a couple other episodes before this on this topic. If you haven't listened to those yet, go back and listen to those because they kind of build upon each other. This January, I decided I needed to go without white sugar again. I fell into some bad ruts during the winter or the Christmas season, all those holidays that kind of bunch together that bring lots of goodies and treats, and I fell into kind of a little rut, you could say, and I got re-addicted to sugar again. Man, it tastes good. But this January, I wanted to kick the sugar for my health. I actually have been able to maintain my weight pretty well since I lost all the baby weight from baby number 4, but I needed to kick the sugar. And lately I'm feeling I need to even go gluten-free again. So I am progressing in this with you. So it is like the 17th or 18th, and I have gone that many days without any white and refined sugar. And today I am going to share with you how I have done that. As I've mentioned in last week's episode, if you want to lose weight, you do have to change. You do have to change what you eat, or you at least have to change how much you eat. Nonetheless, you can't keep doing what you're doing and expect different results. It's got to be switched, which I went into all that last week. If I keep talking, I'll just say the same things over and over again. But this week, I want to share with you how to make those changes easier, how to make those drastic changes to what you eat easier than just having to kind of muscle through it, because that's tough. And we do run out of motivation. It's not an endless pot that we can keep going back to. Some days, depending on hormone levels and where we're at in the cycle and how things are feeling, can make it seem really hard, really discouraging, and we can feel really down on motivation. So today I want to share with you a few of the mindset tips and also some tacticals that you can use when it comes to keeping going in this endeavor. So the first one is to celebrate small victories. It sounds really little and it sounds really simple, but it builds up and it will give you the confidence to keep making those good and healthy choices. So let me give you an example. Whenever I go to my mom's house, for some reason, I just feel like it's okay to raid her cupboards and eat all the food there. Can maybe not eat all the food, but I kind of have given myself leeway to just eat whatever I want at my mom's. But this January, I've been trying to go without sugar. And a week or two ago, we were at my mom's, and all those goodies were calling my name. And it was tough in my mind for a minute, because my brain was trying to convince me and say, Jocelyn, you know how much you like all these sweets. You should probably just have one. I mean, you homeschool your kids, your husband works like 20 hours of the day, and you hardly ever see him, and things are really hard. You probably should just eat that candy. And I kind of had this mental banter going on in my mind about how I should eat the candy or baked goods. I can't even remember what was on her counter now. But it was something that sounded good to me. And so this banter kind of went on in my head. And I want you to think about the banter that goes on in your head. And if you haven't stopped to analyze that, I encourage you, this next time your brain starts to tell you that you should do something that's not really in line with what you really want to do, analyze it and see where it takes you. It's kind of interesting to follow this banter and kind of get to the root of why that banter is going on. For me, the banter was going on because I was feeling like a only parent, and it was hard. I've got 4 kids, and my husband was working a lot. I was kind of coming off of that sugar addiction because I had been doing it for a few days, and it was like, yeah, you should just have this. So getting to the root of why we want that sweet treat can be a tip, although that was not the first tip I was going to give you. But following that banter can really help you analyze what's going on in your life, in your mind, and in your emotions, to help you realize, oh, I don't really need the sugar. I need more time with my husband, or I'm feeling a little bit neglected. What can I do to help fill my cup back up? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So there's a bonus tip, but the first tip, as I finish my story, wow, I've got on so many tangents. I apologize for that. We were at my mom's, and there was all those sweet treats on the counter. And this time I chose to have an apple instead. Now, that was hard to do because I'm used to just socially eating with my mom and dad and enjoying things there, and to pick the apple instead of the good stuff, it was a little bit hard. But you know what? It gave me the confidence that I won that small victory. It was one incident with one sweet treat on my mom's counter, and I chose an apple instead. And it's these small victories. It is celebrating small victories exactly like this that will help you to move forward. Literally give yourself a pat on the back if you have these small victories. These small victories are what's going to take you to your big victory, which is your goal of losing the weight. As you have these small victories with the food choices that you incorporate in your life, it's going to build up. And as that builds up, it gives you confidence. Okay, the next tip that I wanted to give you is more of a tactical one. And if you find yourself munching throughout the day, this one's for you, and that is to chew gum. After you eat breakfast, chew gum till you eat lunch. After you eat lunch, chew gum till you eat dinner, or till you have, I do like a mid-afternoon snack. If you have a light snack, then chew gum. Or if you really want it, skip the snack and just have dinner. Nonetheless, chewing gum can help keep your mouth busy so that you're not putting more food in it. It's a way to keep your mouth busy, and for me, I don't like taking gum out when I've got it in, or I don't like to mess up my gum by putting food in my mouth. So that was a tip that actually worked fairly well for me, is to keep gum in my mouth. The next tip is called the art of distraction. And I use the art of distraction in many areas of my life. In fact, I even talked about it in my pregnancy episode on Tuesday, on the art of distraction, used in a different way. But the art of distraction can actually be very powerful from keeping you away from the things that you want to eat. Distract yourself. There's something that you want to eat, or you want to eat, but you really just want to wait till dinner, or you want those cookies. Distract yourself. Organize a drawer. Do some type of project. Spend time or extra time with a child who needs a little bit more of your motherly, tender love and care. But distract yourself from that. And along with that, I would say out of sight, out of mind. If you have to have cookies in your house because your husband likes them, put them in a cupboard where they're not on your counter calling your name. And then you won't think about it as much. Out of sight, out of mind is a kind of catchy phrase, but it's true and real, and it works and it helps. Put the treats away and distract yourself with the art of distraction. Find something else to do instead of munching. Okay, and my last tip was to drink more water. Drinking more water can help satisfy some of those hunger pangs that you might be feeling and fill up your body instead of filling it up with food. Because when you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to constantly be putting food in your mouth. Replace it with water. Water can help you feel full, but also can help you move forward and build those small victories. That would even be a small victory right there. Instead of having a bite of granola bar, you take a glass of water and you drink it. That's a win. Pat yourself on the back for these small wins. Honestly, it was these small wins that I chose to celebrate, that I intentionally chose to celebrate, that built my confidence enough to keep going at this. It took me months. It took me a few months to lose all the weight. And to maintain the weight, I've still had to be fairly cautious and careful. Anyway, those are a few tips, and because I feel like they were a little bit scatterbrained, I'm going to do a little summary. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen, but sometimes when you have a lot of ideas come to you, you just want to share them all because they're all good. The first tip was to celebrate your small victories. And with that, I talked about getting to the root of why you even want the sweet treats in the first place. The second tip was to chew gum. The third tip was the art of distraction. And the fourth tip was to drink more water. Mama, I know you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this, because I know how hard it is to say no, to have to change the meals that you're used to cooking, and to switch things up. It's not easy, and it takes intentionality, but it can be done. And by listening to this podcast, you are working on it. You are doing it. It's not the weight loss necessarily that builds confidence, but your ability to get there. We kind of live in a day and age of instant gratification, but weight loss is not that way. It takes patience. It takes deliberance. And just imagine that sweet reward you will feel when you lose a little bit of weight. And then down the road, when you've lost all the weight that you desire to lose. You can do it, Mama. Keep going. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.